Hey ya. How are you? Hi guys. Yes, it's a new day. I know once you see my face, it's okay. It's always joy. It's always joy. So some people in this studio, when they see my face, then they think it's not joy. But I know with you, you're very excited to see my face. Hope you guys are all doing good. You are watching ATM. I am your girl, the one and only Nzima Beyonce or Nzima Oprah or Akuba Jasmine. I hope you guys are all doing great. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube, and make sure you hit the little bell next to it so that whenever we post, you will be notified. And also, if you are on Facebook, make sure you hit the like and follow button so that whenever we post, you will also be notified. You do not want to miss an episode. We have great shows happening on here. One Kaubea, the Revolt Drive. Is it Massam, right? Massam, we have ATM, we have the Sit-Down. We have so many amazing shows happening on here, and you do not want to miss any one of them. But yes, we're going to give you a great show. But shout out to RG Kids Portrait. RG Kids Portrait, they specialize in kids, baby shoes, and maternity. Listen, they capture the pictures are beautiful. Everything they do is amazing. If you have young kids at home, you have expecting parents at home, kids, baby shoots, reach out to them. They will capture. If you have young kids or if you have a baby, listen, they grow up so fast. You want to capture the moments now so that when they get older, you can show them their little legs. Yes, you can show them their little legs when they were born. When they start to do rah, 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 you can show them their little legs. You can show them where they came from. Okay, let RG capture all the moments right now. And if you need inspiration just to also have those little humans in your house, you can head over to their Instagram page. It's RG_kids_portraits, and just check out their page. All their photo shoots comes with attire theme and what is called decor. Yes, attire, theme, and decor. Reach out to them, or you can if you, besides their Instagram, you can also give them a call on 614-254-2151. Just tell her Jasmine sent you, and they will give you a really great deal. Lona Soul Clothing, Lona Soul Streetwear this summer, and there's a song called Yawabonte, right? Yawabonte. This summer, we outside, okay? This summer, Yawabonte. You don't want to listen, they're having a good deal right now. 80% off. So head over there right now and get yours. Get the shorts, get the shirt, get the beanies. Ladies, take it from the co-presidents. Take it from me. Size down. Yes, as the spokesperson of Lona Soul Streetwear, size down. Just size down. One size down. Or you can do two size down. It works too, but one size down. And trust me, you will thank me later. But get yours right now. Head over to lonasoulstreetwear.com and get yours now. Use the code REVOLT, REVOLT. Use the code REVOLT and get 80% off. Look, it makes a difference, okay? Yeah. Akuba for all your natural hair and skincare needs. GGC. The skin gotta glow, the hair gotta grow, and the beard gotta connect, and that is an amen on that. Make sure you get yours now. You can get the body butter, the body oil, or whatever, and all they have so many amazing ones as well. So get yours now. You can use the code REVOLT. You get 50% off. Head over to www.ekubaahakuba.com and get yours. Or you can give them a call on 614-584-1845. Whew. Let's get this party started. As always, I'm being produced by Chevy with an X, the man of few words. Thank you, Chevy. And as always, I'm here. Once I'm here with my bullheaded men. I'm here with the biggest Mike. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Mr. Women Empowerment. Mr. Women Empowerment.
Stand for women.
Sure. We'll try and believe that. How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good by the grace of God.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I'll say it's good to see you, but I'll pass on that.
God bless you.
Because of comments he made behind the scene, I will
The
save
feeling
it.
is mutual.
Why do you choose to hurt my feelings like that? I'm a wicked vessel, okay? You're supposed to be gentle with me.
So?
Okay, well, I'm here with my favorite guy who will sometimes not hurt my feelings. The God, the city. How are you, Kumasi?
I'm all right.
The
Jasmine.
man that
How
got
are
the
you?
city. Sorry, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
You at least should be smiling.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let me abuse you now.
Yeah, I'm ready to have this conversation.
Oh, really? So that's why you're not smiling because it's like
Thinking through it.
you're thinking, okay. I was going to say something, but I've already asked behind the scene and he said no. So I'll just not ask again on air for him to hurt my feelings on air, okay? So today we're going to talk about why Africans are losing their core values. I think it was a conversation. It was a conversation that stemmed from, I think, recently, as of recent, we saw a Ghanaian musician, Medical, and then we saw Ghanaian actress Fela Makafui on social media with their whole divorce saga, if I can say that. And then, seeing a lot of young girls, and I think yesterday there was a Nigerian young girl that was on social media also talking about so many interesting things. And then seeing that, and then seeing how, let's just talk about even Medical and Fela, how their marriage has been, their divorce, it's all over social media. And I think I was having a conversation with my dad, and he was talking about back in the day, this is things that we don't do. Stuff like this we don't do. And then the things that a lot of young women are now saying, especially young African women, are sitting on social media saying, he was like, back in the day, a woman is seen, sometimes you're not heard. You have a voice, but, there's a way that a woman speaks back in the day. And compared to now, women are, he used the word promiscuous online. He was like, women are now more promiscuous, especially African women. We're not talking about other culture. We're talking about more of African women. He was saying that the Western world has now influenced a lot of African people, not just women alone, African people. Do you guys feel like Africans are losing the core value because we grew up on integrity, respect, religion? You honor your elders. There are things that you don't say because of where you're coming from. These are things that we've grown up on. I think Kumasi has even said this, like there was things that he couldn't do because he couldn't ruin your grandfather's name. These are things that we grew up on. And it's like now we're not seeing it anymore. Do you guys feel like Africans are losing our core values and things that we grew up on? I'm going to start with you, Kumasi.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. With the introduction of the West in Africa, everything has changed. Mm-hmm. Our name have changed. Our identity have changed. Our marriage system has changed. Mm-hmm. Our educational system has changed. Everything that makes us unique has changed. Our dressing, the kind of music that we listen to, our morality, the fabric that holds us together as Africans, in this situation as Ghanaians, have changed. And I think we just have to bear with it. There's nothing we can do about it as at this point in time. Mm-hmm. When you look at our naming system, and a lot of people don't really look at that as a problem. How can we have an African with the name Donald Trump?
We do.
How
somebody.
can we have an African with the name Benjamin Franklin?
Damn.
So your identity in the first place, because the first identity you have is your name. Mm-hmm. It's Benjamin Franklin. So imagine when they call the name Benjamin Franklin and there's this tall black dude just pops up like
Benjamin Franklin or Satan.
Benjamin Franklin.
Or Satan.
No, say Benjamin Franklin.
What's the father's last name?
I think the guy was Prempe or Pepra.
And so there's at least a Chini.
The child's name is Benjamin Franklin.
First name Benjamin, last name
Franklin. We have Ghanaians called Yvonne Nelson.
Yeah. Harry Bilson. Fantaphone.
What?
George Grant.
What is wrong with it? No, I'm asking what is wrong with
George Grant. This is an African. Uh-huh. Your identity is gone.
I'm called Jasmine Van Dyke.
Your identity is gone. The moment that we cannot associate your name to your people, to the place you are from, your identity is gone. You are lost forever. Can never be found. Identity is the most important thing That's why when iPhone makes an iPhone, they make sure it is right here.
Apple.
Even when they make what we call it, the case for it, they make sure the logo is on it. Why do we have revolt on our? Because we want our identity to show. At the moment we show the wrong identity, that is the end. And that is what we Africans have done. Our names have meaning. Like when somebody is called Kofi, it's somebody born on Friday. It's unique. And anybody that's called Kofi must be from Ghana.
Of course.
Your identity is gone forever. You know? Now, people don't... Chevy is Kofi. I don't even know if he was born on Friday. Do you know you were born on Friday? Did you know?
That. At least he knew that.
Okay. You see, there's a lot of people that... I
Must
know
see.
Ghanaians call Mercedes.
Yeah.
You know, Ghanaians call Mercedes. I've never heard any German or Austrian called Akosia before. You see, we have given everything that is us to them and say ours is bad, let's take yours. So the moment that you do that, I think any father that would name the child like Mercedes, all those kind of Western names, you cannot ask why we are losing our core values. You don't have any right to even ask that, because the very day that you gave that child that name, the child lost their identity. As an African, we name in a way that it tracks. Why do we have somebody called Mensa and all that? Mensa means somebody. Chevy is Mensa. Somebody that's third. It's the third, like Mami and son, the third son. That is Mensa. If the guy is called Kofi Mensa, then he's the third son.
But then that's the last name there, right?
That's what I'm saying.
But then so does it matter the first name? No, the reason I'm asking, let's say you call Jasmine. The reason why my grandfather named me Jasmine was because it means gift from God.
How many people
Because there was a
struggle?
meaning.
I didn't know I'm from Nyameche.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
could it?
Nzimis.
Why could it? But how do Nzima call
Nyamle,
God?
yeah. But then that
How do
I got him.
Nzima call God?
Nyamle.
Nyamle. Okay. How do Nzima call gift? God's gift in Nzima. How you gonna say it?
I'll find a gift for you. I'll call my father.
It's just not even. So if you name your child Jasmine, this is the problem you're gonna have, because the child don't even know the name in
language.
Hold on, I
Mother
know it.
tongue.
I've just been caught off guard. Wait, hold on. I've just been caught off guard.
But you
Wait.
weren't caught off guard when it was Jasmine.
No, but I'm saying that. Okay, the reason why I asked that, most of the time, like I'll say my grandfather, because I can only speak on him. When he was naming his children or whatever, it was more of like the meaning of the name. Because that's one thing I've heard.
So your grandfather named you?
Well, my grandfather and my mom gave him the name Jasmine. Yeah.
What was your father? So the core values even changed.
My
from
father
the way you
named
were
me
born.
Ajoba.
So the core value.
My father named me Ajoba.
So why is your grandfather and your mother the ones naming you?
Okay, that's a story. I'm not going to have that
Yeah,
conversation.
but I'm saying, the moment we get to that stage, the core value has
They can't
changed already.
suggest the name. My grandfather can't suggest. It was a suggestion. Okay, but I'm asking this question based on a lot of times when I was younger, one of the things that I was hearing was the name has to have a meaning. That's why people name John.
Until Nyamele
Michael.
don't have a meaning.
It does.
So
It
why
does.
you know Nyamele? Why Jasmine?
But why can't it be Jasmine?
Why must it be?
Because
you are asking
Jasmine
me
is
a
it's
question.
not your culture.
You are asking me a question of why we are losing our core values as Africans, right? Is that not the question?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the
starts-
reason it starts from
it
the
starts
one
with
you were
something that's
born,
basic
the
as
identity
name.
that we give to you. We've given you a Western identity. So we shouldn't be surprised that you are acting like a Westerner. That's all I'm saying. Your identity is the most important thing. That's why you will not meet any Indian with the name John.
Praveen.
Like, have you seen any
Ramash.
Indian with an
I knew an Indian with the name Michael.
an Indian?
Yeah, he's full Indian. His name is Michael. Yeah.
So
He was my neighbor growing
But-
up. Yeah.
But okay, it may happen because there's always going to be some
Yeah.
exceptions. But how many Indians will you see in your life that has a first name of a European name or European descent?
Hardly.
very few.
Almost all Africans have European descent name, first name.
Yeah.
Almost all Africans. What's your father's name? First name.
Albert.
What's your father's name? First name.
George.
My father's name is Joseph. What's your father's name, Chevy?
Farid?
You know, there's
But that one is African.
I was thinking like it's American.
Yeah.
no Farid is not African. Farid is Arabian.
It's Arabian.
So we always
wow.
have somebody's culture.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? The moment you do that, you've lost it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've lost it from day one. You've lost it. So I believe that, and then we get into schools. We take it from there. Western education. There was nothing about. They were teaching me Don Diego de Ajambuja. What the hell do I do?
Neither for
Mungo Park. Like, why do I even need to learn about Mungo Park? We were
Yeah.
actually learning British history.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was because we're colonized by them?
Queen Elizabeth was what do they call it? King George
Yes,
was
I learned about that.
succeeded by King Albert. King Albert was this is by King
George
Matthew the
McLean and all of
12th. What did we need? So we left the African culture, everything about African, and then we make it a European. All what I'm saying is that as at this point, no African can even come and say, why are we losing our core value? The core value is the first day that the child born, and then you give that child an European identity. And any identity that you give your child is the identity that they follow.
But then the European identity, you also have to remember we were colonized by them, right? So maybe doesn't that stem from that? Because the naming system,
the Indians were colonized.
I know, but then the names, when my grandfather was 80, he was called John. He wasn't called Kwame.
But we are not talking about.
We're not even talking
I'm
about
asking because if we're talking about now, right? Look, now we are giving Mercedes, we are giving the Jasmines.
But your father was calling. Your grandfather was giving George.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it came from.
That's why I'm saying whether it came from all the way down, whatever it is, we have lost the African core value. I hate it when men in their 60s or women in their 60s trying to make it look like this generation are bad. Yeah. You started it. You name your child John.
And now we are modifying it.
You name your child John. Even when your child is speaking your own language, don't speak Chi and get Chi.
Yes,
Then this child become Americanized. This child become so westernized.
Yes.
And then you are the one who say, oh, and cry value. They don't. You started everything.
Yeah.
When are they going to take responsibility for once?
Never.
You know? In 1942, the guy that broke Koko, what's his name?
Tete Kwashi.
Tete Kwashi was preaching in the church of Presbyterian Church. Tete Kwashi had a kente cloth on. They didn't allow him to preach in a kente cloth.
In Ghana.
In Ghana.
Where else?
So what do? This is not your culture. You leave and go practice your culture.
Yeah.
We say we don't want it. We want to practice their culture. So how are we going to say that we've lost our culture?
Oh, wow. What was the reason?
The reason because they don't want African culture in the church.
No. What if maybe like his arm is showing? He had maybe like some, like in the church, they'll say, oh, don't wear this because maybe your body is showing in a way. Maybe there's a reason. What is the reason?
Every reason that it is a stupid reason. To tell a person not to be who he is because he is in the face of God. God gave the culture. There's a reason why we are all not the same. Bible can't simply say, I believe the way God is going to judge Africans will be different from the way he's going to judge Europeans because he gave us different cultures. There's a reason why we practice what we practice. Yeah. Why do we have to tie a tie to our neck in the hot sun? Why do you think we put a cloth on so some part of our body will show? Yeah. Why? You think there's no reasoning, there's no mechanism behind that? That we have a white man come over and says, hey, you can't do this, you have to do this. That we fall for it. This you cannot say is slavery.
Nope.
Because you are voluntarily giving first name, middle name, white names to your kids.
Yeah, I have all full middle name and first name is American.
Like
done the same thing.
Like you understand what I'm saying? It got nothing to do with slavery.
Done the same thing.
Me, I was born Noble Stephen Gibby. That was my name.
Noble?
Noble, yeah.
He's a
That was
noble
my
man.
name.
That was your
My-
name? Oh, wow.
My father, in the year, I think, 1994, I was going to receive a call in the Ghana Telecom. Back in the day, there was phone booths. I'm going to receive a call in the booth. And my father was like, take a pen and paper and write your new name down. And that's how I became Nana Kwame Nyame Gyebi. So he changed my name. Because when he came here, he realized that there was no African called Kokume. No, there's no white man called Kokume. Why? The Chinese have done it. They named their kids after themselves. We are the only people going around naming our kids. We see somebody on TV. We name our kids after them. We don't know anything about their family history. We don't know anything about their names. Names have consequences.
Yes, they do.
Sure.
That
And
I
then we
believe.
wonder, why is this kid like this? Why is it like this?
That I
You have given an identity to your child. You don't even know the history of that identity. So that is why we are losing our core values. And if we talk about losing our core values, it comes from our parents. What they give us is what we are doing. So we cannot blame. And for once, I'm going to stay with kids. We cannot say that, oh, why is this kid doing this? Whatever you give the kid is what they do.
That's what they'll do. Yeah.
You know, so it got nothing to do with the kids. It got everything to do with the parent.
You know, when you're talking about the name, that's funny because I think it was a conversation my dad and I had when he came here, right? And I was asking him, I was like, why did you name me Ajoba, which was after my great grandmother, right? And then I was like, I wanted to know her personality, and I realized that everything that like he said about her, when I sit down and I check my personality, is literally the same thing. Like how she, like,
It always
you know,
happens
it's
the same.
literally so my dad was even saying when he came here, he saw me, he was like, literally, I just saw her, and I was like, oh wow.
In Akan, you say bedin side. A bedin side. Like when you name it, you got to be careful who you name your child after. Like you got to be careful. That's why Judas only bedin. You got to be very careful who you name your child after. You cannot just see somebody on TV and say, "Oh, I'm gonna name my child."
I've
After.
met a Ghanaian called Oprah.
Yeah, I've met one.
I did. I met
No,
her
I've won one.
in
I know,
Ghana.
I know one. Too.
Yeah, her name is Oprah. Yeah,
I know one too in Minnesota.
yeah, Oprah. I'm messing. Yeah,
You know, so all what I'm saying is, it started from day one that we were born.
Yeah.
And then the kid is like 20 years now. Now all of a sudden you want to call the kid off what he or she is doing. It doesn't work like that. Let's take responsibility and then move on from it.
Big Mikey, where do you stand? Why you laugh like that? Don't you scared?
Personally, I think so. Like our tradition and our culture, yeah, we have lost it.
Okay.
Me say like it never crossed my mind like to name my kid maybe a Kweku Menu and I see like
Kwame Asamoah.
yeah, because even my wife is the only one that calls Nigel like Nana Kweku. But like, and I find myself calling him like Nigel all the time. Like I've never like even used this. Like he was born on Wednesday, and like the naming thing, it's every time that I think about it, it's funny. Because like you just mentioned that your dad named you after your grandmother,
My great grandmother.
great grandmother, yeah. So for me, my dad named me after his best friend at that time, like who passed away 2 years after I was born. He was a king in like the Ewe Water region. They called him Neneban, so he named him Michael Neneban Asamoah. When my mom wanted me to take that name of me, like you know, but then my dad tells me that like I act like him, I talk like him,
Yeah.
and I'm like you know, passively controversial. So when I went to Ghana, he asked me like, "So do you use that name?" I'm like, "No, not anymore." I changed. He's like, "Why?" I'm like, "I don't know. I never met the man. When I was born, he was there, but I never met him." And it's like, "Yeah, but then you are just like him. Like that's the reason I gave you that name." Then it goes back to saying that like when women start like giving kids names, I think my mom gave all three of us, all of her sons, like my big brother, myself, my little brother. My mom named me like my first name. So my dad basically just gave like middle name and last name. My big brother was the same thing. My little brother was the same thing. In fact, my big brother, I think my mom was the one that named him after some rich person that lived around down Suma. His name was Mr. Opoku.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only reason, if I talk to my only reason was because the man was rich.
Okay.
That she didn't look at like innate characters of the man or
The
anything.
man was rich.
Yeah. But and see, like basically, we have lost. I think it's a benefit of hindsight that our adults or our parents or grandparents are seeing now and then like feel like we have made a mistake, right? And usually, when people don't want to admit the mistake that they've made in the past, so like, or this generation, they're failing to learn our culture. It's because they actually feel like when they sit back, they feel bad about it. But we have gone too far for us to like turn around, right? And the crazy part is, I mean, we can say that for us over here, like in this country, like in the Western world, right? What about people that are in Ghana? They are actually been doing more than we are doing.
Yeah, because I've met people in Ghana called Beyonce.
I know
People in Ghana.
I've met kids in Ghana.
Don't even speak Tree. Don't know how to
Who
speak.
don't
Yes.
speak, and who speaks English like the American.
Yes.
I've been here for so many years now,
And
still
I don't
my
even,
English, I went to a place in Dansuma and where the kids were speaking. Like, so I asked the lady, like,
they're here.
yeah, born here, born in Ghana, raised in Ghana.
Never even flew plane. Gone on a plane.
Can we blame them?
No, you can't.
Because the reason why I don't want to, because I remember when I was in Ghana, right? My grandmother was not educated, right? So she wanted to make sure that I can speak English and read English. And so it was something that she worked on. And I remember one time and I wasn't good with Fanti and Chi till I came here. Mind you, I went to school in Takoradi. And so I remember one time, as we were learning Fanti and Chi, it became like exciting. Like I can say things in Chi properly, right? And I remember I was beaten in school for it. Don't speak, is it vernacular?
Yeah.
I will never forget it. The teacher beat me, like beat me. From then, that was the reason why. Like I think was when I came to America was when I can say I learned Chi. Yeah. From then, that was it. I was like, I'm not speaking Chi. Even the eczema was because I had to talk to my grandmother. That's the reason why I spoke it. You know, they beat us for that.
Okay, yeah. So like that. So that was where it started, and then like anything that you start or anything that you plant is gonna grow. Right? So the seed that they planted, that's where we are right now.
Yeah.
Right? Social media has come in. I don't want to say that like the Western world, they influenced us, all right. But then there are certain characters that when we like, you know, do or like partake in it, right? Like going, like somebody putting a camera in front of them saying that I've slept with this person, I've done this, I've done that. I don't think that was something that the white man taught us.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I don't think that the white man. In fact, like I've not seen a lot of like white people doing that, like putting a camera in front of them.
But the Western culture allows that.
It allows that, but does not tell you to do that, right? And see, I think that yes, we have lost our core values and stuff like that, but then there are certain things that we are partaking in, or like our generation are partaking in, that is things that it's just failed, right? Like nobody. I mean, the fact that like something is like, I think we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but our culture don't do.
It's true.
Our culture tells you cannot do this, you can do this, and it's very clear.
It's very clear. It's very clear, but. And once now, like I said, like it goes like we lost it. We've lost it.
But actually, I think it is even better these days because I've seen young guys naming their kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I have seen that trend. I have seen
people are taking deliberate decisions.
Deliberate. I've seen young guys trying to set companies and putting, you know,
like African name,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I have one. Thank you.
Nice.
So it's
Yeah, and see, Vincent, like we've gotten to a point. I think that now the culture, and I said like the Western culture now is trend, and that is where we are right now. That is what I think that we and the people that are doing stuff to trend. It's not like they don't know about like like there are like strict rules. Do this, don't do this, do this. They know about all the don'ts and then the do's and the don't. But they will do the don'ts like just to.
But how did we get here? Because the reason why, because the thing is, especially growing up, one of the things that we used to see was it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community. Right now in Ghana, you can't yell at somebody's kid.
Yeah, you cannot, because we've chosen the Western way, nuclear family system.
So how did we get here?
And that's what I'm explaining. Nuclear family system. We've chosen a culture that is not ours, over ours. Our family system is extended. My cousin.
Yeah, that's
my mother's sister. It's not my aunt. It's my mother.
Yes,
that is our culture.
Yeah.
Then we decided, no, we don't want that. We want to be so nuclear to the point that even our parents are becoming extended family.
Yeah.
We have chosen that. Now our parents are becoming extended family because our parents cannot even come to spend a night in a house.
Yeah.
But back in the day, this is how our family structure was. I'm not saying that things from the West are bad, but there's a reason why our system were like this. There's a reason why we have big heads, round faces. There's a reason why. Big nostrils. There's a reason why. There is a reason why they have pointed nose and all that. There's a reason why. But when we decide that ours is inferior, so we have to choose that, that is what is called losing your core values.
Okay. So
then, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
And then when we lose that values, we are being blamed. Oh, why did you lose? I actually think we are doing way better than our parents.
It's true.
Way better, because us right now, most of us are trying to get married, have our kids, leave inheritance for our kids. Our parents were not thinking like that.
They're not thinking like that. Like most of them were very selfish.
Like you are saying, our parents were not thinking like that. So even if we are talking about our core values, we are even doing way better
than they did.
Than our parents did. Because how on earth, like I was just even telling you this, that we can have kids come over and I'm going to need not in the quanyam. No one you know what they know about the better.
Yeah.
Yes. You will sleep over a night with a cop. The reason why they do that, this system deter you from not doing the right thing.
Oh, wow.
It's when you are going to pick any woman from the Everland, you know the first thing is go seek the father's hand.
You married.
First. You understand? There was a system in place. Now we have a system that I could just meet you and just go to court and sideline the whole family.
Yeah. It's me and you against the world.
Yeah.
You understand? It is things that we have been taught. And the moment we accepted that the Western way is the way that we are going to go, look at the problems that Africa is going through. We have our own jury system that we were solving our problem and say we don't want it, we want democracy.
Yeah.
Now look, one person can take billions of dollars and store it in his or her house.
No repercussions.
Nothing. No repercussions. Yeah.
Back in the days, you'll be buried alive for taking state money.
It will not even cross your mind.
Now, you can go to court. The thief can go to court and get a defender to defend the thief.
Defend why he or she stole the money.
And then we say, this is the system that we prefer. Then turn around and say, oh, we are losing our core values. Girls right now are celebrating. I'm a baby daddy. Yeah. I'm a baby mama. I'm the baby mama.
I'm a side chick.
Happy
side chick.
Happy to say I'm a baby mama.
When I hear Ghanaians doing that, I'm looking at them like, bruh.
Like I'm a baby mama. I'm the baby mama. Like when you hear them speaking like this, like,
how did we get here?
Like your level is to be a baby
now, they call it BM.
I'm a BM.
And for IBM, International Business Management.
They call it BM.
International Baby Mamas.
I'm on my BMs, man. I'm on my BMs. Like, I'm telling you, now they call it BMs. Yeah, seriously. There are certain things I learned, like just being together for 12 days, right? And I could not believe it. Like they even know more than we that live here.
Of course. I remember when what we call it, the money that was coming in, how do we call it?
Oh, the COVID-19 thing.
Yeah, the money. What was the specific name?
I can't remember.
Oh, what was the name?
Stimulus.
Stimulus. I have little brother called me and said, "Yo, I know the stimulus just dropped."
This nigga. I'm like, see me or
He knows the stimulus just dropped.
George and AJ.
All what I'm saying is they are more even American, more Western than we are.
That's true. That is so true.
You know,
Yeah.
we are looking at, and the same thing I was saying. We had a system that takes care of the older ones.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden we say we want the Western system,
Yes.
and then when it's time for them to go to nursing home, now they're saying, "Oh, don't send me to nursing home. I don't want to." You cannot eat your cake and have it.
too,
You cannot train the kid a Western way and expect the kid to turn up the African way.
That's when there is money for them to like send the older lady to the nursing home. Right now, they're skinny on the money. I bunny before.
It's sad.
It's really, really bad.
It's sad.
It's really
and
bad.
and I think we are the only race that have lost it all.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't see the Indians. I don't see the Chinese. I don't see the.
And most of them got colonized as well. Like just like
But
us.
look at this.
Yeah.
How is it that Pakistani can't speak English, comes to America, and in the next 5 years owns a corner store, owns a gas station? How? How? We can't stick together. How did we become Ashanti? It's a group of people that decided to come together and be one people
a common cause.
for a common cause. Why can't we have a common cause right
Look
now?
at that.
Like, why can't we do it?
Right now, even,
and that
even
same system.
families cannot live together.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, these Pakistanis, when they come together, they build businesses.
Yeah.
They live in a $400,000 house with 8, 10
All of
people
them.
living
10, 15 people.
living in the house. And if one person is making $50,000 a year, 8 people are making $400,000 every year. They can buy a house.
That's what you're doing, though.
And when they buy the house, it's paid for.
paid for. It's not like mortgage. You're paying mortgage every
You know what I'm saying? Ours, me, myself, and my wife, 4,000 square feet house. My brother and the wife, 2 kids, 4,000 square feet house. I'm owing 300,000. He's owing 400,000. She's owing like, are we gonna be serious for?
And then my wife is asking for a Range Rover. When his wife sees it,
He's also asking for a Range
I want a
Rover.
Ferrari, and that's why like and then now there's a competition, and we all of us we owe money. So if one person falls,
Everybody.
that group is gonna lose everything.
Yeah.
We've lost our core values.
Do you feel like the leaders also can get involved?
Leaders in
Because I remember I went to a Turkish high school here, and I think one of the things that I learned was like there were certain behaviors that women cannot do. Like a woman cannot act a certain way. If you do it, there is repercussions for it. A man cannot say certain things towards women. You know, like Turkish, I think that's one of the things that I learned. Like Turkish men cannot talk to women a certain way because there is repercussions. You will get a sentence or whatever he was saying. Do you feel like maybe our leaders can get involved? Like these young girls that are now coming on social media and talking anyhow. Like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm sleeping. Do you feel like maybe our leaders should step in and then there's enforcement on that? It could help, change certain things.
At this point, we are gone.
You think it cannot be fixed?
I think the only person that can do something is the parents right now. The boys in the parents'
It
calls.
starts from families.
It's that because with the problems that we have, to make this a national agenda,
It's a part of
it will not even agenda. So what we need to do is I personally name my kids in a way that they will know that they are from Africa. Like I just wanted to take the American out of them. Mm-hmm. I want the black folks and the white folks to find it hard to say their names that they will have to deal with Africans.
Yes.
Like I was deliberate about it, and I'm kind of joking about it. I want my kids to,
You're lying.
But all what I'm trying to say is we have to be deliberate about the things that we do.
Yeah.
It's not, for our families, it's not late. If I bright the corner where I am, he brights the corner where he is, you do same, Chevy that same, I think we're going to achieve something. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The point is, we have still not realized. We have still not realized. Right, in Africa, and I keep saying the name, anybody that you name your child after, for some reason, they act like those people.
Yeah.
It is there.
For some reason, I don't know what it is. That is African spirituality.
Even down to you not seeing.
Yes.
Like me not seeing anything. I'm literally the only, like all my grandmother's kids, I'm the only one that can't see, and I can't see for nothing. All of them. I can't see, I can't, everything. Even down to the dyslexia. My grandmother couldn't read. She read opposite. Literally. That's the funny part.
So the point is, there's a reason why when a child is born, we do a specific amamre for the child.
Yes.
Ritual.
There's a reason why. And then if you are going to be African and lose all these things, that's why our battles are different. Because I'm telling you, most of the things that we are suffering is just us doing just a simple thing.
Yeah.
And then everything will fall in place.
Yeah.
And what is the right thing? Go back to our names?
It depends on where your family is.
Depending on like the clans.
Yes.
They're from.
Every family comes from a specific way of life. So when you know your family and you know the way of life of your family, you'll be good. But have we made a decision to know the way of life of our families?
Because I somehow kind of, so which means, like every family, so my dad was explaining it, and I think when my mother-in-law came recently, she was trying to explain it too. So like every family has like a clan. I don't know.
Nton.
Yeah, something like that. And all
Agona, Adriana,
and all of those, they have a chiwadia.
Yes.
Could it be said some of us,
Things we
the
can
things
do
that we
and
are
things we
doing
cannot
is
do.
like a chiwadia, and we are suffering the consequences.
There's a lot of things that we are.
That's like our way of life, and it's a chiwadia for that way. But then when you go to church, so like there was a religion, and then there was a tradition, and then there was a culture, right? You have to find a way to blend these entities in a way that you don't you do not break a rule in like the coming together of these entities, right? But then we have something we say, and then like the church has a way of saying it, or we break those barriers, whatever. You came from this thing.
It's a bloodline.
It's a bloodline. It's a root.
That's your DNA. That's your nature.
Yes.
How are you gonna break your nature?
But the church wants us to break that DNA, and then
Why is it that an Indian will say that they are Christian, but then like an Indian will say that like they follow like Christianity as a religion or another belief.
But they don't forgo their traditions.
But in their tradition of maybe like instead of we Raphael and so see about her own sons, they still do that.
They still do that.
But
Take
then,
off
but
your
when
shoes.
you want to say we are Christians, then you're born some year.
So actually, I had a debate an elder in church over that. Right after 2019, when I went to bury my grandfather, and when I came back, there was this bit. But the day that we buried my grandfather, my bedroom, that they had a big pan, and they had these leaves in the pan, and everybody comes from the funeral. I mean, the cemetery, they wash our hands. Anybody that gets there, they wash their hands. So when I got there, I was kind of curious, and I asked. And then one of my uncles was like, this leaf is the same thing that they use for Dettol, antiseptic. And that same leaf have a spiritual meaning. When you go to the cemetery, that's where you take bad spirits, and people that are dead, but they are lingering around you. So when you come home, you get home, before you enter the house, this is the first thing you do. You clean yourself of all this evil spirit, bad spirit, and all that. So nothing torments you.
That's true.
Wow.
So I had gotten that knowledge, and
You went quick.
I wanted to even bath with it.
Wow.
So when I did that, fast forward, I came to America, and then we are having a discussion at church. Oh, I was so pissed off. One elder said, Sademani nyinaa abosom sema yedi ahyehyɛ ase na ema yen ye bre.
Yeah.
Like abosom niema no te say okwasi na akosi obi ba e mo akɔfa nwura bi di aba besi ho no. After he finished speaking, I raised my hand. My first word was, I know what I'm about to say, it may offend some people, but please forgive me when I offend you.
Yeah.
But asem na elder na eka no, he doesn't understand what he's talking about. And I just came back from home, and this was explained to me. And I think, say, if we do not have understanding of something, we shouldn't speak on it. The reason why they do that is this. And I put everything down. The whole church was quiet. I say we are most misinformed in the church
than anywhere else.
Like when we are in the church, we get misinformed. The fact that we accepted Christ, Jesus Christ was a Jew. And when he came, he behaved as a Jew. The only thing that he changed was the hypocrisy of the things that was happening. That's the only thing that he changed.
That's it.
When Paul goes to, and I'm using these examples, I said when Paul goes to the Gentiles, he didn't go there to tell them that this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, you can't do this, you can't do that. That is their nature. How are you going to tell people that their nature is wrong? I think that is very wrong. And I think when we do this, we are disrespecting our forefathers. And the worst thing we can ever do as a person is to disrespect your forefather. Yeah. The person that put his life down there for you. Yeah. The same way that Christ did.
So to what he was saying, like I met, I want to say, the white person is more spiritual than we are.
Yeah.
You know what? So I met this Chinese man. Like I've worked with him for some time. And he has, so like, we went somewhere and then he was like, oh, when we come here, you guys always pay for the food or whatever. Listen, I'm going to pay for it. So when he took his wallet out, he had a red string in his wallet.
I think I've heard stories about that.
So like later I was like, hey, like his name was Francis. I was like, hey, like, you know, where is, it's like, oh, because I know him to be a Catholic. And it's like, he was born in Taiwan. He was raised in China, and then he came to the U.S. The clan, and they also have clan.
Oh yeah.
Where he comes from, if you have that in it, like it takes poverty from you, like
prosperity.
So he said like you're never gonna get to a point where you don't have money to feed your family. So like every wallet, and he's had that wallet for about 20 years. But he said like if he buys a new wallet, he moves it
and puts it in there. Yes. Yeah.
And then I met another guy. He's from Bulgaria. He has a red, like it's like
yarn. It looks like yarn because my Indian friend has the same thing. Yeah, it's yarn.
He always has that.
Yeah.
Too, right. So there's this man there, like he's a Christian. He preaches, but then he has this spirituality. He's like every time I say something, people think something that me feeling something. But then he was explaining. Yeah. So like he thinks like the religion like negates.
Negates,
but it's not true. So like he was explaining,
Jesus came, live, die a Jew.
Yeah, and then he said that, and in some part of the Bible, it says that the elements of the earth shall protect you, not shall favor you. What elements are we talking about? And these clients now come out and say, well, some of them have these elements.
Oh yeah.
And I'm saying that you are the end of and it's like most of us, the things that we are doing, the life that we are living, and we are suffering the consequence, and we're not seeing it.
We don't even know.
We don't understand. I think 2016 when my grandmother passed, when you were saying about
the ignorance of the law.
So no excuse.
When you were saying about when you come back from the cemetery, they wash your hands and the whole leaf thing. I remember 2016 when my grandmother passed away. One of I'll say he's my grandma's cousin, brother. And he was like, they need to, I think he made a statement about they need to do something for me. And then there was this pastor there, and he was like, don't do it. They shouldn't do it, and it's the sin, yada, yada. So when I came back from Ghana 2016, what they kept telling me when I was in Ghana was when you have a dream and she's calling you, don't go. And then I was telling them, how will I know? And then so that was when the old man, because when I went in Ghana the first time when she passed away, I had a dream that night. And she was calling me that let's go. Her and my grandfather was saying let's go. And she, I was literally ready to go, and then I woke up. So when I woke up, I was telling my mom, and then the man heard it. And he was like, if they need to do like a bath, and they will cleanse that, so then when she calls me, because sometimes they just said when you're dear to their heart, they want you with them. So, they said it was spiritual, so it was, a sin, yada, yada, so they didn't do it. When I came back 2016, it was so funny. I had a dream, and this time, guess what happened? I went. And I ended up sick. I was literally in a Mount Carmel for like 15 days. I will never forget this. Like I was conscious but unconscious. And so then my mom was talking to my uncle, telling him, this is what is going on. My uncle said, I told you guys to do the cleanse, but you guys didn't listen. So guess what ended up happening? At the hospital was when they brought stuff and literally did it, and I was awake. This is not anybody. This is me personally.
I'm telling you.
Family
At the hospital,
right?
I remember I did a salt bath and all of that at the hospital. Then I was okay. I would never forget it.
I've met. So when people say white people are not, you guys don't know what they might not go to the church and do shabbalabala.
Oh,
like
yeah.
we do. But the things that they believe, the spiritual things that they do, we don't even do.
From
anything
that
close.
day, when they say spiritual, my mom is like,
we
like
don't
literally,
even do-
I would never forget it.
It's how can you?
The doctors
think
were
that-
looking at me like, what happened? Like I was conscious, but I was like, I would say paralyzed, but I was just laying on that bed. Literally for 15 days in 2016.
We are raised,
crazy.
and even if you follow this Nigerian pastor, it says Apostle Joshua Selman say we are raised in an error. We were raised in an error.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's an error. Everything is error.
We were raised in an error. The way they taught us, the way the things that so like we use, because he said that like the portals of Africa is open. He usually says that. That's the reason why somebody.
Be able to be room, bed open.
Yes,
Yeah.
or say some that's the reason somebody can get your picture, put it in water, say something should happen to you, and then it will happen to you if you know. And see, you cannot say I'm a Christian, so like no, it doesn't work that way. There are principles that were put in place from creation. We cannot change it. Day and night, Nyankopon back, and I say, let there be day, let there be night anymore. He put these things in place. So like these are like the elements.
Our
of
job is to protect it and follow it.
That's it.
You feel like religion was our problem.
It's not.
No, religion is not a problem.
Religion is not
Ignorance
really
is
a
our problem.
No, the reason why I say religion is our problem, the reason I say that, because I think you made a statement that said, and which we hear it, break that line, break it, right? Religion is teaching us that. And when you go to most churches, they spend hours literally
So
break
religion
it, but it's not breaking. So
Religion
do you
does
feel
not
like
teach us
that's
that.
what it, because spirituality was there
Religion
before
did not teach us
religion.
that. It's a doctrine of the leaders.
No, I understand that before marriages. I don't really know a lot about, but I think we did a show about marriage, and I think Kumasi was saying that back then they will they pour libation,
fair.
and so then that was like a bond.
But that's
So it
fair
was
claim.
hard to break
Yeah,
it.
Where you come from?
I get
It's
it
a
too,
family system.
but
Yeah.
right now they no longer. But that back then, because you pour the libation, I don't know about libation, but I feel like you've made a covenant, right?
Let me tell you.
But now religion, they don't longer do
But
that.
Let me tell you. If you are a Christian, right, and you are worshiping God, Jesus Christ, whatever it is, who are your forefathers in Christianity?
Jesus Christ.
No, the forefathers like Abraham, Isaac,
Moses,
Jacob,
all of
Joseph,
that.
you know.
Until when you are saying, say, we only worship the Exodus 20 when the Ten Commandments was coming in. They say we are the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. We are forefathers. We do not worship anything except what our forefathers.
Forefathers. Oh wow.
AKA ancestors.
Ancestors. And the ancestors is what we are breaking.
That's what I'm saying.
So anything, and see, that's why when you look at the homes that they are chieftaincy, there's always problems in that house because what they are supposed to do, they are not doing.
We're not doing it, yeah.
It was a name in the homes because what they are supposed to do, they are not doing it. All what I'm saying is every single family or religion or race worship through their forefathers. Every one of them. Except the black people. Except the black people that we worship through the lens of the West. It's a big problem for us. Because when we sit here and then when we are calling on Abraham and then
You are the devil's cousin.
you're a devil.
Yeah.
Don't you think it was God himself that brought Konfanoche?
Yeah.
You don't think Konfanoche can be like the Isaiah
Of our time.
of our
Oh
time?
yeah. Even
So
Elijah,
Charlie.
like, he wasn't born.
Yeah. Togbe Charlie.
Yeah.
And even the real and even the real story of Okomfo-Anokye, he wasn't born.
Yeah, Elijah was not. It said Elijah of Tishbite. Elijah, he was not. Nope. Elijah just appeared.
Okomfo-Anokye was
Yeah,
not
the
born.
real story of Okomfo-Anokye, he was not born because the mother was barren. But the real story, because when you go to Akuapeme Wukuga right now, the story that is there says, "O maamene kwefum na akra no, no fa ne befi oniba."
The lady never got pregnant.
So the lady never got pregnant.
So where
Per
did
the
the kid come
story of Okomfo-Anokye. So what I'm trying to say is that every culture worship through their forefathers. And we are the only ones that do not worship through our forefathers. And then we are speaking languages that we do not understand when we are praying.
Yeah.
And we don't even know what we are asking. You know, like, especially when you are praying in a language that you do not understand.
I think you asked that question. Was it last week?
Last week.
Yeah, and I was like, so I went because that was funny because the day before I read that chapter, it was in Acts chapter 2. On the day of Pentecost, they spoke in different tongues. The different tongues. The Bible goes on to explain it that the people, the witnesses that were around,
when Michael
were hearing
spoke,
their languages.
I understood the language that. So I knew that. Oh, okay, tree.
Yeah, he's praising God in my language.
Then Chevy news. Oh, okay, Italia.
You know,
everybody was speaking different tongues. All of a sudden, that tongues became bokiti, ha, ba, 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 ba.
No, seriously. And see, like that day, right? Like last weekend, I went home and then I was asking because my mother-in-law is a Dickness. I asked him like, you know, what happened? I was like, because the day before, when I read that chapter, Acts chapter 2, I read it. So when we came here the following day, he was talking about. I was like, I read this thing. The witnesses over there. Let's say if you're a Greek name, Latin, a Hebrew. Not like when you were praising, even though you're Greek name, when you were praising God, you're praising God in Hebrew, and I could understand what you're saying. So, oh, Jasmine,
to you are speaking Greek, but he's hearing it as Hebrew.
Exactly.
Speaking a tongue that he could understand.
So he could understand.
Yeah.
So tongue speaking is not
I don't
a
have
language.
to be like a Christian for me to understand. So you are praising God.
So like mekanzma, say you understand.
I have to understand it.
Mekanzma.
Oh, this man walking.
Nzima na oka no. Oyi Nyankopon aye o nzima mu. Kumasi Nyankopon aye o nkran mu.
Bro, wait, you're confusing me.
So I was asking my mother, I'm like, when did this change to like kabe? Like, I don't know what kabe is. I don't think the kabe.
But
is
the one that is even saying it doesn't understand.
Yes,
because they said it's an unknown language. It's the spirit speaking through us.
That is
That's
not
what
true.
they said.
That is not true.
Who said that? Because if we're talking about like Jesus Christ when he was ascending, right? I said, go and wait for the promise. The promise was the promise of the Holy Spirit.
Yes, it'll come on you.
On the day of Pentecost, he came upon them
and
they were speaking in tongues. And they were witnesses. And each of the witnesses were hearing their own language. If you say kaba, kabe, I'm like, what language is this?
Hey.
And so my question was, so I was asking like, when, so even in the Bible, we have lost it.
So
unless said the translation of the Bible,
I'm gonna get a pastor.
Let me tell you this. This whole thing started from South Africa. Just 25 years ago, no pastor was praying like that. It just started from South Africa when they started that charismatic movement. May I say that all those because they don't have anything to say. They but most of them cannot pray.
That one is true.
Most of them cannot.
But that's the hardest. You know, prayer is the hardest thing, right?
The easiest way out.
Most of them want to pray for so long and want to prove a point.
The easiest way out. It makes sound is to make sound.
Yeah.
So they are just making sounds. And I can tell you, I have at least 4 people that I can tell you exactly. I will tell you that when this person is praying, this is the tongues. When this person is praying, this is the tongues. And it is always the same thing. So you are always asking the same thing.
Oh yeah, I literally.
So we've lost it. Like I said, everybody worship through their ancestors.
Seriously,
everybody.
That day when he said, because it was a question that I had, but I didn't know I didn't know anybody. So I think he was asking our Fahima. And then they couldn't. So I asked Nayak, like, she's like, yeah, I speak in tongues too. Like, so do you know what you're saying? He's like, oh, it's a language between her and her God. Like, only.
How can you communicate in a way that you do not understand and it can be between you and your God?
Do you get it though?
Oh, I get it.
When Jesus was on the cross, that Jesus was praying, the guys that were no cross. They understood what Jesus was saying. And that's why that guy was like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then the other guy said, oh no, on your head. Papa, so why was he able to communicate with Jesus Christ? Because he understood what Jesus Christ was saying.
Yes.
You understand? Until when you read Corinthians, because in Corinth, it was a cosmopolitan area. What Jesus Christ said, what Paul said in Corinth was, since you guys are cosmopolitan area, there's a lot of people, different languages, so let's find a translator. When the pastor speaks, somebody explain it.
Yeah.
And that's why the translation came.
Yeah.
Why didn't somebody, I don't know, sorry. Let's say yeah, boss I'm paying now. I mean, you preaching here. They say, "And quite to one of tree no more country. Munya mon can tree will be answering because you know they will not understand.
Yeah.
So you cannot communicate with your father in a language that you yourself
don't understand.
What are you saying? What if you are telling your father F you? The language that you are speaking, that you take your father.
It's serious.
A lot of us, we have lost our identity, we've lost our culture,
We've lost the religion.
Everything.
But
everything that binds us is our religion. It's our religion that makes us do everything. Why do we call Jesus Christ Nyankopon Kwame?
Yeah.
Because we believe in the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And that's why we call Nyankopon Kwame. What do we call
which means the Sabbath day Saturday?
Yeah. What do we call Ochediampon? Dependable God.
Yeah.
Somebody that we can depend on.
Yeah.
Omnipotent. Like these are the way that we appellate our God.
Sorry, be organa. The thing says
It's a problem.
It is whatever evil or like fetish or something.
Yeah, you've been fetish. So we've lost everything that we have, and I'm saying that the only way to go back is to identify. We all believe in Jesus Christ. We believe Jesus Christ is the Son of God. Yes, but the fact that we believe in Christianity doesn't negate our culture and traditions. Our culture and traditions are what makes us what we are. It is a uti krumha. Now we are watching say me krumu die. And ya there's some alcohol. They are this, they are that. Maybe your destiny is in your family house. Maybe
so you guys are saying
maybe your destiny is in your family
go
house.
back to your roots.
We have to, but then it can be like a national thing. Like if I say national, like Ghana, like we have to brighten the corner where we are. Like we have to make a constant decision. Say like in our family, say. Like
they implemented culture. You see, these white folks, they were smart because they wanted us so bad to join them in whatever they were doing. That they implement the culture of this person is evil, this person is evil, and left. You know why they?
But they considered her the evil.
Yeah, because this one I'm not doing. You've lost everything that you're supposed to have. Because the depository of knowledge is with your grandmother.
It's true.
Like in our Kan culture, the depository of knowledge is in our grandmother.
Yeah.
That's why SMTSC and everyone.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's in our grandmother.
Yeah. Because the thing is, God is not even going to come from heaven to come
to
in.
solve some things.
He's going to go through a human being.
I'll say I personally feel like as much as we're brightening our corner, going back to our roots, because one of the things that I started doing from January till now is trying to know where I come from. And because I think as I'm learning because I used to think, I know because my grandparents are not alive. And then my parents really don't know much about where the extent where they come from. So one of the things that since January I've been doing is learning where I come from, and especially the women that I come from. And one of the great things that I'm learning is like where I come from, it's literally it has shaped me. Like I feel like I'm like you connect. There's something I can connect to because literally, all honesty, when I look at my mom's side, my cousins that I grew up with and all that, I was like, there's nothing I can relate to. But when as I'm going back down the line, I realize, okay, there's something I can relate to with them, you know. So I'll say personally, that's where Brighton and O'Connor get to know your roots, get to know where you come from, or what bloodline you come from, the ancestors that you come from. So yeah,
It's very important.
it is. Well, thank you guys so much for a great show. I really appreciate it. I feel like we should do a part 2 of this another time. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. You're watching ATM. I was here with Kumasi Yame, Biggest Mike, and Chevy was my producer. I'll catch you guys later. Be safe. Bye-bye.